Good morning, true crime friends. How y'all doing? Listen, today we're about to do something a little bit different. Remember Ruby, Franke, and Jodi Hildebrand? It was like a child case. You can't say ABUSE over here on YouTube, so I'm gonna have to say like meanness or something like that. So Ruby Franke was a YouTuber who got super duper popular, and she was like one of these mommy bloggers, and everyone was like, oh, she's so wonderful. She had 2 million followers. Well, then we found out she was being real super mean to her kids, super mean in a way that's like absolutely illegal. Well, Jodi is over there. Ruby Franke is tucked away in prison right now with her partner in crime, Jodi Hildebrand. And Ruby Franke's daughter, Shari, has written a book called The House of My Mother. And I was like, oh, you know I'm nosy. You know I want to know all of somebody's personal business. And so when this girl wrote this book, I was like, well, clearly this is the business she wants me to know. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to listen to this book on Audible, because I don't got free time to just be sitting around turning pages and stuff. So I got the book yesterday and I was like, oh, this is a good book. Finished it in one day. Can't wait to listen again. But look, so today I'm going to give you the entire breakdown of The House of My Mother by Shari Franke. There is no trigger warning necessary for my recap of this book. I don't think. We just gonna see how it goes. But first, you know what you need to do. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. That helps other people find us. So look, in case you don't know the whole story, I'm going to give it to you in broad strokes, and then I'm going to tell you what Shari Franke says in the book. The broad strokes of the story are that, I keep messing up these names. Ruby Franke was like a Mormon mom living over there in Springdale, Utah. And she was a very traditional mom, right? She was like, I'm going to have a bunch of kids and I'm going to stay home and raise the kids. And my husband is going to go off and be an engineer out in the world. And he's going to support all of us. They didn't have a whole bunch of money or anything, but they were doing just fine. And then Ruby got the bright idea that she could start like one of these little mommy vlogs where she would just like record her kids doing little things day to day, and she would put it up on the internet and she would see what happened. Well, her channel took off in pretty short order. It took off and she got 100,000 subscribers. And I was like, oh, hold the phone. What'd she do to get 100,000 subscribers? Was she being mean to the kids from the very beginning? I'm not sure. Anyway, the thing is that Ruby suffered from scrupulosity. Do you know what this is? Look, I know about this from watching the Mormon Stories podcast. Scrupulosity is when you're like, okay, it's like religious OCD. You take all of the rules and you feel like you have to do every single rule perfectly, and you like sort of go a little bit crazy in your mind if you feel like you didn't do it if you didn't do it perfectly. So Ruby had a lot of scrupulosity, and she wanted her kids to be perfect. Everything had to be just so all the time. Nobody could step a foot out of order, right? But she had 6 kids, and that was hard. So the only way to really make them do like everything absolutely perfect in her mind was to be really mean and to be kind of a tyrant. And then she was just like, some of these kids are not enjoying me being really mean and scrupulous with every single thing they do, and they are acting out. What should we do? Should I maybe get myself a therapist? Should I maybe dial it back and get my whole brain together? Oh, no. I know what I'm going to do. The kid that's acting the worst, my oldest son, I'm going to send him to therapy and then off to one of these like wilderness training camps. So they put the oldest son in therapy with this lady, Jodi Hildebrand. Jodi Hildebrand was like, I am a therapist. I am a queen. I am the queen of all the Mormon therapists and all of the moms. Please don't mind the fact that my children don't speak to me and my ex-husband wants nothing to do with me. It's because they couldn't handle the truth. Ma'am, Jodi, maybe it's because you were terrible, but apparently that was not clear to other people. It was real clear to me. Your kids don't talk to you, but you're going to tell me how to run mine? I bet you not. Anyway, hang on for a second. So, Jodi Hildebrand enters the life of the Franke family, and she gets them together in short order. She's like, oh, here's new ways to think about things and new ways to think about things. And your oldest son who's acting real crazy, I'm gonna get him together too. We send him to the wilderness for 3 months, and he comes back, and it seems like his act right is fully installed, right? But his act right was a little bit loose because he was doing good at first, and then he just went all the way to the left again, and they were like, dang. And so meanwhile, Ruby is still recording the family. At this point, she's been recording the family for years and years and years. And the oldest son, who was not acting right, was like, she thinks she got me beat. She does not have me beat. Watch me blow up this whole channel. So one day on a video that Ruby was making, the oldest son mentions in passing, yeah, that's why I haven't slept in a bed in 7 months. And all of YouTube is like, scream, wait, what, girl? You did what? You didn't give your son a bed for 7 months? And she was like, oh, I don't think the people on the channel knew that. Now listen, when keeping it real goes wrong, all of YouTube is like, wait. Your son, who is in his late teens, has slept on a beanbag for 7 months, and you out here trying to tell us how to parent our kids, girl. And so, with that one statement, that video that was posted, the oldest son basically burned down the YouTube channel. Well, actually, the mama's actions burned down the YouTube channel. But this son coming out and saying this mean thing that his mom had done burned down the whole YouTube channel. And sponsors went away and the channel went away. But the mom, Ruby Franke, was like, I am going to stick with this therapist. She's giving us all kinds of good life advice, and she could not possibly be telling us the wrong thing. I'm gonna ride with that heifer. And so the YouTube channel went away, and then Ruby Franke is like, I'm going to partner up with this therapist, and I'm going to join her program, a program called Connections, and we're going to be like model moms and life coaches. Okay, the lady whose son, one lady has a son who basically burned down her YouTube channel, and the other lady has kids that don't speak to her. Y'all are giving life advice? Okay. So, Ruby Franke kicks her husband out of the house so she can really focus on being the best family person and life coach that she could possibly be. Please hold. You know what's probably not going to go good for helping to build your family? Kicking your husband out. Now listen, you need to kick your husband out. But on advice of this wacky therapist, you have kicked your husband out. You're not speaking to half your kids. She don't speak to none of her kids, but y'all giving life advice and selling all kinds of classes and stuff. Okay. So finally, the oldest daughter keeps calling CPS like, hey, my mom over there acting crazy. She done kicked my daddy out the house. I don't know what's happening with them kids. She left the kids home alone for days and days. What is going on? And finally, CPS was like, yeah, girl, we are investigating, but based on the laws and stuff, your mother hasn't done anything super duper illegal yet. So, we're going to have to wait and see. Finally, meanwhile, in Ivins, Utah, at this therapist's house, Jodi Hildebrand, a young boy, 12 years old, escapes from Jodi's house and runs to the neighbor and asks for help. And it's like, hey, I've been treated real mean in a way that's very illegal, and I've been tied up and stuff. Can you get me some food and water, please? And thank you. He was super polite. And so the cops come and they raid Jodi Hildebrand's house. And she's like, oh, I don't know why you would raid my house. I'm hardly doing anything. I was not mean to those kids at all. So the police go in and they find the two youngest Franke children in terrible condition, emaciated or whatever. And the little kids start telling this story about all the mean things their mama did to them. And the popo was like, okay, you have the right to remain silent, and gave them some of them nice bracelets. And after this arrest, that's when the story burst into the true crime ether, and everybody was talking about it. And everybody has dug up every little detail of this story and of this family, and how this mom blogger went from being just like, oh, I have 1 million followers, 2 million followers on YouTube. Now I'm a felon in prison. Ultimately, the two women, Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrand, end up going to prison for a minimum of 4 years, somewhere between 4 and 30 years down there in Utah. And I was like, okay, this story has been put to bed, but you know, as in all cases, there's probably some part of it that we don't really know. Enter Shari Franke, the oldest daughter. She was like, listen, y'all don't know the half of it. Let me tell you the real story of my mama and this crazy therapist. And I was like, girl, now you know I'm nosy, and you know the way I love other people's business. So please tell me every single thing, leaving nothing out. I am perched. I will buy your audiobook. So yesterday I bought the audiobook, and in one day I whizzed right through the book. I mean, come on, it's only 7 hours. And I would listen to everything on 1.25 in an audiobook. On YouTube, I listen to everything on 2x. But anyway, I was just like, And so now I'm going to tell you the parts of the book, the things that were in the book that we as a public may have suspected but did not entirely know. And the beautiful thing that Shari Franke did that I really, really admire is she says, listen, my mom exploited my siblings basically for their whole lives. And so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to name their name. She does give the name of the oldest brother. I will not name him here. I will just refer to him as oldest brother. So she gives the name of the oldest brother, the one who sort of burned down the whole channel. But the other children, she never says anybody's name. She does not tell their story. She only tells her own story and things that happen from her point of view. And I really, really admire that and respect the fact that she's not trying to further exploit her siblings. So look, Shari Franke basically tells the story that I just told, but there's a couple of little details that we may have heard about, but didn't know entirely. Number one, the scrupulosity was there from day one. Ruby Franke was always had like religious OCD. She started having kids when she was 19. She went to college to get her MRS degree, snapped herself up a husband, and was like, okay, thank you so much. I don't need to keep doing this college stuff. I'm about to just pump out a whole bunch of babies. And she pumped out a whole bunch of babies, and it was not easy for her. And she didn't really enjoy motherhood that much, but she was like, these are the things I'm going to do. And if I do them, I'm going to be perfect. And then I'm going to get to go to heaven, and I'm going to live in the celestial kingdom. Because keep in mind, these people are LDS. Did I say that before? They're LDS. Now listen, let me just briefly revisit the levels of Mormonism. Level 1 of Mormonism, funeral potato Mormons. Those are our friends and neighbors. They're very nice people. They're just like regular people who go to church, right? Nothing wrong with them. Funeral potato Mormons, we really, really like them. Now sometimes, no matter what religion you're in, you have this level, the better than you Mormons. Oh, I know some better than you Baptists. I know some better than you Catholics. I know some better than you Jews. You know what I mean? Like anybody in any religion can get to the better than you level. Oh, they doing all the extra stuff they read and all the extra books, and they looking at you like, I am more Mormon-y than you. I am more religious than you. I am Jesus's BFF or God or whoever. Anyway. So there's the better than you. There's funeral potato Mormons who sometimes slip over into becoming better than you Mormons. And when the better than you Mormons keep studying and go too far, they become zombie Mormons. That's when they feel like some people are zombies and I can unfortunately unalive them. And I myself am a deity here on earth and everything I say is fine. Now it seems like down there in Springdale, Utah, it's a whole bunch of zombie Mormons. I'm looking at that entire community crazy because Lori Vallow Daybell came out of that community. Chad Daybell came out of that community. It's a whole lot of culty nonsense happening down there. Springdale, are y'all trying to be the Florida of the West? Something not right with these folks. So anyway, this story mostly takes place in Springdale, Utah. Land of the zombie Mormons and a bunch of better than you Mormons. If you ask me, I'm sure they have some funeral potato Mormons sprinkled in, but So anyway, Ruby Franke, who was a better than you Mormon, verging on becoming a zombie Mormon, hooks up with Jodi Hildebrand, who is a hardcore zombie Mormon from day one. So after the channel kind of goes all the way to the left, Jodi Hildebrand was like, don't worry, I'm going to step in and I'm going to help your family smooth everything out. Only my brain is a little bit ticklish and I'm having a rough time. Can I move into your house? And I was like, I don't think therapists are supposed to do that. Now look, I am no scholar on what therapists are supposed to do or not do, but something tells me your therapist should not move into your house. And Ruby Franke was like, of course, zombie Mormon therapist, please move into my house. We will make you comfortable. My daughter is just about to go off to college, so you can live in her room. Wait, but this was before the daughter went off to college, a couple of weeks before. So Shari Franke is like, okay, I got 2 more weeks left at home, and then I'm going to be living on campus at BYU, and everything is good. Wait. Who's this heifer sleeping in my bed? Wait, I got to put fresh sheets on for this nasty heifer? Oh, please no. Reportedly, Jodi Hildebrand, the wacky therapist, was not on first name basis with a shower. That's just not where her gifts lie. She was just like, I might be too holy for showers. I think maybe she thought soap had the devil in it or something. I don't know what she was thinking. But they lived in Utah, where it's hot, like the desert part of Utah. And she always wore long sleeves. Reportedly, she had like cut marks on her arm because she was a self-harmer. And she take a whole bunch of showers. Something tells me also she wasn't shaving them pits. She wasn't plucking eyebrows. Was she brushing her teeth? The smell. Look, there should be a trigger warning for smells in this video. But anyway, so this stinky cult leader moves into Shari's bedroom, and Shari was like, "This heifer did what?" Okay, mom, whatever. You've always been slightly crazy. And so her mom was like, Shari, we are helping Jodi out. The devil has been attacking her. Too bad she didn't think soap was attacking her. But she's like, the devil has been attacking her, and we're going to bring her into our home, and we are going to help her heal. And so she set up camp in Shari's bedroom, and Shari had to go live with in her little sister's room, and then she just moved off to college. Okay, cool. Meanwhile, in Shari's bedroom, while she's off in college, Jodi Hildebrand is like, I'm having delusions and vivid dreams. Ruby Franke, you should come and live in the room with me, and then you can help me fight the devil. Listen, I feel like if I have a friend or relative that is possessed by the devil, that's between you and the devil. That ain't got nothing to do with me. How can I help? I'm going to be like, oh, devil, go away. I'm not helping you fight the devil. That's a you problem. That is not a me problem. And you can't bring the devil to my house. But anyway, so she was just like, come to my room and help me fight the devil because things are really, really bad. And then Jodi was like, while I'm in these delusions, I'm seeing things and we should write them down because I believe one day this will become scripture. What, Stinky? You funking up the place making scripture. Okay. Why all cult leaders work from the same playbook? I, for the life of me, do not understand. Anyway, so Jodi is like, I believe that I am riding on a lion named Charles through the streets of heaven. What? Y'all ain't look at this and think this was crazy. Ruby, girl, she's riding a lion named Charles through the streets of heaven. Okay. Also, she was like, I need a specialized diet that included mostly processed foods and Dairy Queen. Also a lot of ranch dressing. Is that the holy diet? Is ranch holy? Is it like holy water? I don't understand. So she was over here with her cases of soda and her Dairy Queen and French fries, living up in Shari's room, funking up the place undoubtedly. And then she was like, Ruby, you need to come in the room with me all the time. So they would spend all day writing scripture. AKA Jodi's delusional ramblings were all getting written down. And then Shari came home one time and she's like, wait. I don't have a place to sleep, so I'm sleeping here on the couch. Is that my mother I spy with my little eye sneaking out of Jodi's room in the middle of the night with her robe wrapped around her, looking all flush and going back to see my daddy? Wait. Y'all up here funking up the room and splashing around in the lady pond at the same time? Did she put ranch dressing on her? I'm just curious. Anyway, ew. So I was like, okay, I was not ready for the lesbian overtones of the entire situation, but okay. And they were reading this book, Visions of Glory, which is the handbook for zombie Mormons everywhere. Oh, they all read that book, and they were stockpiling food and pills from a Mexican pharmacy. I don't understand none of that, but apparently that's a thing you do if you're one of these let's stockpile food people. Okay. And then one day Shari said, I came home unexpectedly and I was trying to get something out of my room. And it was all set up like a honeymoon suite. There was massage oil and candles and all this other kind of stuff. And I was like, nope, I'm out. I don't need to know nothing else about these two. Listen, you want to be a lesbian, be a lesbian. I don't care. It don't matter to me. But your husband is right over there and you over here tickling this lady's kibbles and bits. did she take a shower yet? Anyway, so finally Shari Franke was like, I have had enough. I'm moving in with some friends of the family, and these are my new parents. I will now call my parents by their first names because they have lost the title of parent. These new people are mom and dad. My biological parents, we just gonna call them what they are. Crazy. And so ultimately, Ruby Franke kicks her husband out, and hang on. Shari's living with the new parents, and the arrest happens, and then Ruby Franke goes to jail. Jodi Hildebrand goes to jail. The daddy, Kevin Franke, is like, I'm back. I too was under the spell of that crazy behind cult leader who ain't take a shower, Jodi Hildebrand, and now I'm trying to heal my life and get myself back together. My oldest son is back in my life, and I'm trying to just I'm trying to get it together. I'm trying to get it together. It's unclear, and initially, the Frankes lost custody of all of their minor children. They had 6 children altogether. The state took all their kids, rightfully so. And it's unclear whether or not the younger Franke children are back with Kevin Franke. Now, Kevin has divorced Ruby, thank goodness. I hope he got unsealed from her in the temple. I know how Mormon things work. And when they get married, they also get sealed, which means like you're going to be together for time and all eternity. Please, Kevin Franke, go get unsealed from that heifer because she's crazy. Anyway, so I was like, this book was about what I expected, but the compassion and the detail, child, the dirty, dirty detail that Shari Franke went into, I was living for. Now look, a little trigger warning here for stalking. There was a man who, down from the church, who was just like, oh, hey, Shari Franke, you should come and work for me. And I'm gonna give you a job, put money in your pocket while you're in college. She was a teenager. He was a 50-year-old man. He was a married man with kids or whatever. But quickly, it was very clear to me from the way she wrote about it that he was grooming her. And she's like, we never went all the way. But this grown behind man was just like, I need to prepare you for what it's like to be a wife. So I'm gonna have you do some wifely duties. Not all the wifely duties, but some of the wifely duties. And finally, when she was like, I've had enough, he started stalking her and wouldn't leave her alone. Ultimately, he just followed her around and stuff and then left her alone. But he was real big mad about it. And she went to her bishop and she's like, Bishop, I think I was having an affair with a married man. And the bishop was like, okay, we're going to take away your temple recommend, which means you can't go to the temple and stuff. And she was very upset. She couldn't take communion for a little while. And then she got communion back. But the man who was doing the terrible thing, the 50-year-old man who was stalking and diddling the teenager, nothing happened to him right away. Spoiler alert, he ultimately was stripped of all of his temple callings. But at first, his bishop was like, well, he said he didn't do it. And obviously, he must not have done it because he said he didn't do it. Y'all, I'm looking at all of y'all crazy. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to spend any time bad-mouthing our funeral potato Mormon friends because there are a couple funeral potato Mormon heroes in this story. The new parents that Shari Franke found, absolutely funeral potato Mormons, absolutely heroes. And the bishop at her church was like, your mom and daddy and them said you can't get therapy. You know what? You're underage, but you don't have to go through your parents' insurance. The Mormon church or whatever ward she was in, was like, we will pay for your therapy and send you to a good, reputable, non-stinky therapist who will help you process everything that's going on. And you don't have to tell your parents about it. It's between me and you and that therapist and God. And the local church, nice funeral potato Mormons, paid for her to go to therapy for an extended period of time from what I could tell so that Shari could find some clarity and some healing and get away from all these crazy folks. Now listen, in terms of stars, out of 0 out of 5 stars, I give The House of My Mother by Shari Franke 5 stars. Absolutely a riveting tale, not too triggering. If you are triggered by criminal unkindness to children and light SA, although I don't know there is a such thing as light SA and stalking, this might not be the book for you. Those things do not trigger me personally, and I found this to be a fascinating read. Fascinating. Tomorrow, we will be back to our regular true crime shenanigans. In the meantime, pick up The House of My Mother by Shari Franke. Bye.